In today's video, we are going to be moving and dismantling our Lego room. So we're going to be moving our Lego collection. Well, maybe not all in one video, but today should make an interesting one as a part one for what it's like moving an entire Lego collection. And by golly, judging from behind me, I spent a good few hours tonight working on this and moving a bunch of stuff. And I feel like I've gotten nowhere. So we're going to talk some best strategies and my current situation. So if that interests you, stick around because this should be a fun one. We'll make this a multiple part series because there's going to be a lot of dynamics going into this video just because we're going to have to pack everything up. Of course, that's going to be probably the most difficult thing. Not damage it while transporting it to the new home that we are relocating to. And of course, unpacking it at that last step, right? So again, like I said, we're going to focus on some best practices as well as just my experience throughout this process. So if that interests you, stick around, hit that subscribe button, like today's video, because this should be a pretty fun one and a pretty daunting one on this guy because he's putting the weight on his back and doing it all himself. Yes. What are you doing, Cristo? Come on. Ask for some help.
Legitimately, there's so many minifigs here. Look at this. This is crazy. Ninjago Max. Just a bunch of random stuff. My first thought is see how many minifigs we can take and fit into this drawer.
I'm going to take this entire table of like minifigs and miscellaneous stuff, somehow put it in a box or a drawer. Yeah, that's step number one. Let's proceed.
I guess there's no better time to start than now, so I'm starting to move some of the Lego room and put it out into kind of a living room area where we have like a front door kind of, so we have easily accessible to move this in a couple of days when we start moving. So yeah, let's continue on. I have an idea what is actually going on in here. It's just so much Lego. I've said it in a previous video, like when is enough? But yeah, I entirely moved this whole section right here out of the official Lego room. So we're going to continue on moving some Lego and see how far of a progress we shall get because we have a lot ways to go. I don't know quite exactly how I'm going to move all of like the actual Lego sets. Like when I originally moved some of like the modular buildings, I put them in those like free USPS boxes. Well, I think they were like medium or large, but a modular I found was fit quite nicely in one of those. Obviously you have to get, if you have 20 modulars, you have to have 20 boxes to move them, which is a pain, but I felt I didn't have like any pieces fall off the modulars, which made me really happy. So I'm probably going to go that route for at least the modular buildings, but I mean, there's some really hard to move sets like the Lego Ideas Treehouse. That's going to be really hard to move. The Daily Bugles are a really difficult one to move. And then like, don't even get me started on the Ninjago cities because those are going to be like a legitimate trip in itself to move those modulars. So yeah, onwards.
A little update. We started to hit the point where I'm like, definitely don't need some of these boxes. So I'm going through these boxes and kind of deciding what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to not keep. For the most part, I'm definitely going to keep, I would say, 75% of them. But some of the smaller stuff, like the Creator 3-in-1 stuff or some like Star Wars Battle Pack boxes, I really just don't need duplicate copies of boxes like that. So I'm definitely going to part ways with them. But some of the big stuff, like our Orient Express, our UCS Venator, our Bricklink Designer train station, stuff like that, I'm definitely going to keep.
So it looks like basically nothing's changed. But we did get some stuff out from under here. Made a mess on top of this table. Finally removed some Lego sets on there. Barely dabbled in here, and then of course got all of our mock creation stuff, like all our Lego pieces. I do have battle wounds. Yeah, make sure to give a like for the battle wounds. But I guess I'll walk around really quick here. We'll walk in, and this is everything we've taken out just so far. There's another great image of Stella on the wall. But yeah, I mean. This may not look like much, little small corner, but my gosh, we have a daunting task of removing a ton of Lego from this room. Feels like we haven't even touched this room, but like, I promise you, that was a lot. It took like 2 hours. So this is 95% all Lego, and I promise you this is like not even, what, maybe we're at like the 25% mark of the Lego collection. Nah, I wouldn't even call it that. I call it maybe between 15 and 20. So that's everything stacked up nicely in boxes. I've officially ran out of like decent boxes to like put Lego sets in and whatnot. So I don't know, we're gonna have to brainstorm with some ideas or maybe go to like a store and pick up some boxes to help move some of the collection. For the most part, this is a lot of sealed stuff and just Lego pieces. Of course, we're gonna be having some difficult times moving the actual Lego modulars, which I think we should head over to the Lego room and take a look at. And like I said, 95% all Lego, and there's a few other stuff in here that's not Lego, like there's a cricket. But anyways, continuing on forward, let's jump straight over here and turn the Lego room light on. Pretty exhausted. We have a live stream in just a little bit, so I figured I'd wrap up recording on this video as it feels like we have gotten nowhere. My gosh. But I know I'm going to get questions on Cristo. How the heck are you going to move all those Lego modulars? And I thought we should demonstrate a really good tactic that I've kind of used when I move these the other like 4 times we moved. So today's example, we're going to use the brick bank. Or maybe we'll use a bigger one like the town hall. But for now, let's try the brick bank and see what we can do with it. You thought I was kidding? Yes, that's my terrible handwriting. But look at this. Dishes. This is like the 4th time we're moving. And I've used these boxes multitude of times. So one thing I'm going to stress here is these boxes are the USPS boxes. You can actually order like bundles of these online for 100% free. You could put a little piece of tape on the back side, box it up, and guess what? You have a nice little moving box, and they're 100% free. So I know it's a smaller box, but the reason I'm stressing these is because these are amazing to use to hold and move the Lego modular line. Let me give you an example. Let's take the brick bank for an example. An absolutely beautiful modular, very well built, of course. It does have a few loose pieces here on top, but for the most part, this would be a very difficult Lego set to move if I was going to jam it in a box or next to a bunch of other Lego sets, or just, you know, carry it like this inside of a U-Haul or something like that. I would actually rather have this in a bag, in a box, because this is a very valuable Lego set. I think on the aftermarket, this thing goes for around like $500 or so, which is absolutely bananas. So I want to do my best to preserve this Lego set and make sure it doesn't hit any damages or I lose any pieces on the transition. Enter the box we just talked about, and I'm going to leave the top flaps open. But a really cool technique I used when I was transporting all these modulars over and over and over again is simply putting this modular in this box, pulling the tabs up, and guess what? Like, I don't have to put anything on top of this. And I know you're probably going to get complaints like, oh, well, you can't stack these. That is true, but truthfully, you're not going to be able to stack any of these modulars in the boxes without them getting damaged. I found this to be one of the best ways. I can move this thing, I can jump around with it, like nothing's going to happen to it as long as I don't put anything on top. And it makes a great strategy for transporting all the modulars. And this is what I'm going to do for honestly every single modular building that I have. Now, I am going to run into the dilemma like Ninjago City behind me because they're base plates and a half modulars, so it's like a little bit longer than this. That I'm going to have to use a different technique. I'm actually not even certain what I'm going to do those, to move those just at this time because those are so big and so difficult to move. Now, one thing for certain is I am going to have a U-Haul when I am planning to move this on the final rise, and I think that's going to make it a lot easier just because I can stack these on top of a table or something or on the floor and make moving and my life a lot more simple without damaging all of these wonderful Lego modular buildings. But that is going to do it for episode 1 or part 1 of moving our Lego collection. That was an exciting one, and I feel like we got a decent amount of work done, but make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on part 2 where we actually probably finish off this room. Yes, I'm saying that and I'm not convinced, but we will finish off this room. I can assure you that. So hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Any techniques that you guys recommend, let me know in the comments below. I'll try to implement them in this move because it already feels like a disaster. But thanks so much for watching, guys. Love you guys. My name's Crusoe from Stud City. We will see you in the next one. Peace out.